Prabhu, you're now host.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. So we'll wait for the participants.
You are host, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay, now I can go ahead. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Maharaj. You're welcome to the platform, Maharaj.
Thank you. So we'll start in 3 minutes?
Yes. I think I will just play Prabhupada's Jaira Madhava so that after that we can start.
Okay.
Is that all right, Bhakti?
Who will chant? You will chant, right?
No, I will play the Prabhupada's Jaira Madhava.
All right, then. No problem. Sure.
So, okay, I can go ahead with that now.
All right.
Okay, Maharaj. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Gopi Jana Vallabha.
Jai. 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 Hare. Hare Krishna. So Maharaj, you're welcome to the Hare Krishna Africa platform.
Jai Ho, Hare Krishna Africa, Yatra Ki Jai Ho.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. So Maharaj, the devotees are coming in gradually, but I will share the screen now for the test for today. We're reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, text number 20. So I'll be sharing the screen. We can start, Maharaj.
So we can start now?
Yes, we can start, Maharaj.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Namine Prabhupada Saitam Yapakasha Vitiracha Charam Kirmasadam Bhagavatam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Shajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakambitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindhavanispari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. So today we're reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Would like to thank the devotees from ISKCON Africa, Hare Krishna Africa, by inviting us today. We're now in India, but we're reaching as far as Africa. I've seen some also audience from the Philippines and Canada. So it's a very important verse by Srila Prabhupada's purport and the translation. This Prabhupada, very often he would comment on this. He would give classes on this. Text 20 of the second chapter. Najayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya ajo nitya sasvato yam purano nahanyate hanyamani sarire Najayate mriyate va kadachin Nayang Bhutva Bhavitava Nabhuya Ajo Nitya Shashvato Yang Purano Nahanyate Hanyamani Sarire. Okay, one more time. Najayate Mriyate Vakadachin Nayang Bhutva Bhavitava Nabhuya Ajo Nitya Shashvato Yang Purano Nahanyate Hanyamani Sarire. Word for word meaning, na, never, jayate, takes birth, mriyate, dies, va, either, kadachit, at any time, past, present, or future, na, never, ayam, this, bhutva, having come into being, bhavita, will come to be, va, or, na, not, bhuya, or is again coming to be, aja, unborn, nitya, eternal, shashvata, permanent, ayam, this, purana, the eldest, na, never, hanyate is killed, hanyamane, being killed, sarire, the body. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For the soul,
Yeah.
there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Purport. Qualitatively, the small atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. He undergoes no changes like the body. Sometimes the soul is called the steady or kuta star. So here in this verse, the eternality of the soul being spiritual is being discussed. We have the same qualitatively, the same as the Supreme Lord, but quantitatively we are different. We are small, anu, but Krishna is bibu, unlimited. Anu means like we're parts and fragmental parts and parcels. Mamay bamso, jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. We're also eternal, like the Supreme Spirit, who is the unlimitedly in quantity, is full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. We also, in that way, as a spirit soul, we're blissful, we're knowledgeable, and we're also eternal. But somehow, the living beings can be covered up. And that's why it's called condition. The living beings in the material world, there are two types: eternally liberated souls, Jivan Mukta, and the eternally conditioned souls, Nitya Badha. That means us, those who are here. He says that there's never a time when we did not exist, nor will there be a time that we will not exist. He was always existing. It's eternal. We're eternal. But somehow or other, those conditioned souls who are here, there is suffering. It says in the Bhagavad Gita also, Dukalayam asasvatam. This place is a place of miseries and temporariness. So, but the soul is steady. It's always the same. It just becomes covered up by the modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. So the body is subject to 6 kinds of transformations. That means this body, this mortal body, it takes birth from the womb of the mother's body, remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes into oblivion. So there are 8,400,000 species of life. Those who are what you call animated living beings. We take birth, cats and dogs, in that way. It says in the Sastras, there's 8,400,000 species of life. Only 400,000 species are in human form of life. There are reptiles, mammals, insects, birds, plants, trees, also aquatics. So those who are animated living beings, that means those who have like legs, those who have hands, they all goes through these different transformations. The soul, however, does not go through such changes. That means the soul within this body is temporary. This body is made of 8 elements, according to the Bhagavad Gita. Bhumir apon alo bayu, kamano budir evacha, ahankara itiyame, bina prakriti, astida. So yes, if somehow or other you have not known yet, you are not this body. You are spirit soul. Somehow you are engaged. We're all engaged in this body. It's like a bird inside a cage. The bird is more important than the cage. We may polish nicely the cage, could be considered as, let's say, made of gold. But if we forget to feed the body, the soul, or the bird, then the bird will die. So the soul is more important. It says here, the soul, however, does not go through such changes. The soul is not born, but because it takes on a material body, the body takes its birth. So without the soul within the body actually is dead matter. It's dead matter. So what makes the body alive, this material body, is because the soul is there. Prabhupada, usually he will give an example. It's like a dead person. And one may ask, where is that person? And you say, oh, he's still there. He's lying down. But actually, the soul is not there anymore. We may say that the body is there, but the person actually is not there anymore. So yes, this material body is like that. Is dead matter, but what makes it alive is because the soul is there. The soul does not take birth there, and the soul does not die. Yes, the soul is eternal. It says that there is never a time that we can trace when we come in contact with the material world. It says eternal. That there is a beginning, though, when we come in contact with the material energy. Due to our wanting to become independent, we want to be happy, separate from the Supreme Lord. And therefore, the material world was created. Krishna, he does not want for us to be here. As much as possible, it says that he's more eager than us. He's more eager for us to go back home, back to Godhead, than we do. But we want to stay around, we want to play around, we want to fulfill our material desires to the highest degree, and therefore we suffer repeated birth and death again and again and again. But the soul, who is embodied in that form, whatever species of life that the spirit soul takes, the soul is considered as like a passenger. Anything which has birth also has death. So as soon as we die, we take birth again. And as soon as we take birth, death is certain. However, for the devotees of the Supreme Lord, those who became perfect by practicing Bhakti Yoga, they don't take birth again in this material world. They will still take birth. It says in the Bhagavad Gita, when one reaches perfection, one will take birth in one of the planets in this universe, whereby he will practice to go back home, back to Godhead. Not immediately he'll go back home, back to Godhead. Or maybe this is his last birth also, which means that he'll go back home, back to Godhead. So other ways, we will take birth either materially or spiritually. But nevertheless, the soul never dies. It just goes on and on and on and accept a different form of body, whether it is spiritual or material. If it is spiritual, then he goes back home, back to Godhead and attain his original form. He says that we have this original form, but right now it's like in a sleeping state. And for those who wish to fulfill their material desires, then it says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavan chajante ante kalevaram. Whatever one thinks at the time of death, that he will attain next life. And because the soul has no birth, he therefore has no past, present, or future. Yes, how could that be? Because the soul is eternal. It remains always as it is. Satchit Ananda, full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. He is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. We got lost here. There's no, if you like, you can go back.
Sorry.
Birth, okay. The soul has no birth, and he therefore has no past, present, or future. It always remains the same as it is. It says here, he is eternal. There is no trace in history. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc. of the soul. The soul does not at any time become old as the body dies. Yes, the body gets old. And the soul is eternal. There is no such thing as when is the birthday of the soul. It's like in many countries of the world, like the Philippines, there's always like a birthday every day, always like a party. They always like, Prabhupada says, actually, we don't celebrate birthdays. We celebrate the birthdays of the acharyas. I mean, how many birthdays do we have? How many millions of lifetimes do we have? In this body, yes. Materialists are very, very expert in celebrating birthdays. It's like an excuse to party. It's like in the Philippines, like practically every day there's a birthday, party here, party there. But no, what is there to party? Body is full of miseries and sufferings. Temporarily, maybe happy for some time, but then all the time is miserable and always in anxiety. As Prabhupada says, our main disease is that we're always in anxiety. Anxiety of getting a job, anxiety of paying the mortgage, anxiety to have the children grow up and educated. So much in anxiety. The whole life is in anxiety. But ultimately, if we can understand that we are not this body, we're spirit, soul, and our main purpose is to go back home, back to Godhead, then our life is perfect. So the soul does not at any time become old. It's only the body. And Prabhupada says also, old age starts at 70 years old. This is the time when Srila Prabhupada left India to go to North America on the order of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. It's like a lifetime of preparation for Srila Prabhupada. At that time, it's like the time of retirement, vanaprastha. Of course, as a sannyasi, usually sannyasis, they don't go outside of India as well. But Srila Prabhupada wanted to fulfill the instructions of his Guru Maharaj. And in order to fulfill this, he has to cross the ocean. Traditionally, sannyasis, they don't travel outside of India or cross the ocean. But Prabhupada did. So at the age, he celebrated his birthday. Of course, we can celebrate the birthday of the acharyas, but for regular personalities like us, birthday is not so much to celebrate for. So, but Prabhupada also says that old age means you're about to die. So we don't know where we're going to die. But actually, we have 7 days to live or to die for. You know, we have either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So any one of those days, we may die. And sometimes we've seen a child just after birth, the next day, the child died. So which means that as soon as the child took birth, the child is already old because the next day he died. So actually, all of us are old already. In Kali Yuga, it says in the Bhagavatam that the lifespan was supposed to be 100 years, but in Kali Yuga, it becomes shorter and shorter and shorter. And if one reaches 35 years old, you are considered to be old. So who knows how many more years we have to live? Can we guarantee we're going to live for the next 10 years or 5 years or even 1 month or 1 week? No one can make it certain. So we better be serious in our Krishna consciousness as much as possible. The so-called old man, therefore, feels himself to be in the same spirit as in his childhood or youth. And that's true, right? An old man, he only feels that he's old because he's not able to function. The body actually gets old, so he cannot function like the same as when he was a young boy. But the same spirit is there, so the same practically energy is there. But you may have the same energy, but the body is deteriorating, so the body cannot reciprocate to the energy of the soul. He says the soul is like the brightness, and the energy of the soul is like 10,000 suns rising at the same time. Can you imagine that? We have only one sun in our universe, and the power and energy of the sun is so bright, it can illuminate the entire universe. What about the soul? The soul is more powerful. Even though the sunlight is the reflection of the Brahma Jyoti, which ultimately coming from the transcendental form of the Supreme Lord in Goloka Vrindavan. That's why in Goloka Vrindavan, they don't need any electricity. There's no need of moon. There's no need of sun. Everything is self-effulgent in the spiritual world. So we feel the same. I'm already like 60 years old, and I still feel the same as when I was a young boy, but the body is deteriorating. The digestive system is going down. The fire is maybe half lit already. Yeah, but people, they want to remain young, so they have this in Canada. This is the first time we saw anti-aging store. Anti-aging store means, they sell many things, for beautifying yourself, like makeups, or they probably do also what you call, you can make your hair black again. tinting them, or like facelift, all the creams and everything to put on your face to look young, but it will never help if this spirit is not being put into attention. You may look young, but then if you're not taking care of your soul, then what is the use? It's like when a person dies, they want to make that dead person look happy. At the same time, they'll put many makeups and just to say that rest in peace. But how can he rest in peace if he sees the Yamadutas at the time of death? Which means, at the time of death, that's why a person who's about to die, he will pass stool and urine, because the materialists, they will see the Yamadutas with their ropes and the dogs to carry his subtle body to be judged in Yamaraj's court. We're very fortunate because we've been living in Vrindavan for many years, and I've seen many devotees. They left their bodies, and they're very peaceful. They're very shanti. You can see their very subtle smile in their face. It's like they're looking forward to see their Supreme Lord, the object of their love. Unlike for the materialist, oh boy, you cannot paint their face. They're like shouting. They're like, their voice is choked up and full of mucus, and they cannot. They're so afraid. And it says that at the time of death, it's like about hundreds of scorpions biting, the pain. But I saw in Vrindavan many devotees. We will chant near the person's bed, the devotee's bed, and so shanti, so peaceful. It's not like, oh, no, I don't want to meet. No, there is no such thing as Yamadutas. Especially if one dies in Vrindavan, then definitely you go back home, back to Godhead. The changes of the body do not affect the soul. It's only the body that's changing, but the soul remains as it is. The soul does not deteriorate like a tree, nor anything material. This is the first teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. You are not this body. You are spirit soul. And Prabhupada says, well, that's good to understand that you are not this body, you're spirit soul, but that is not enough. That we are all eternally servants of Lord Krishna. Isvara, Ekala Isvara Krishna, Ara Savra Britaya. Everyone is servants of the Supreme Lord. Krishna is the only supreme. So that is the spiritual side. To understand that you are not the body or spirit soul is not enough. We have to realize and act that we are servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The soul has no byproduct either. Yes, how could that be? It's spiritual. The soul doesn't produce another soul. That is the meaning. The soul doesn't produce another soul. It is Krishna who created us. We cannot create another soul, but we can create another body. It's like husband and wife, they can create another form of body, but they're not the source. Still, the soul, it says that at the time of conception, the spirit soul enters into the womb of the mother. Sometimes they have what you call the soulmate. Have you heard of this? Soulmate, right? Well, what is soulmate? It's only in this lifetime that we meet each other like family members. Prabhupada in the Bhagavatam says it's like this. The family means it's like a bundle of sticks. And because we're in the river and the river flows, so by karma, we get together to enjoy or suffer the reactions of our previous lifetimes. It is only in this lifetime that we will be able to enjoy or suffer or receive the karma in that particular body, in that particular family. That's family life, which means after some time we have our own lives also. When the kids grow up, they can have their own life, and maybe sometimes there'll be a reunion, family reunion, right? So we get together again, and then after some time, we all disappear again. We have all our own karma to burn. Karma is not eternal. Karma can be changed only if we become Krishna conscious. So here, the byproducts of the body, namely children, are also different individual souls. And owing to the body, they appear as children of a particular man. Yes, it's very important. We should not think that, oh, children, they belong to me. They are my properties. No, they are there for you to take care of so that they will become, hopefully, Krishna conscious when they grow up. Especially the parents, this is their duty. It says that one should not be a father, one should not be a king, one should not be a teacher, one should not be a guru if he cannot save his subjects to be liberated. So this is very important. The body develops because of the soul's presence, but the soul has neither offshoots nor change. Therefore, the soul is free from the 6 changes of the body. So we have to understand this. Very often when Prabhupada would give class, he will always hammer us. You are not this body. I am not a Filipino. Maybe right now my body is a Filipino. I'm not an Englishman. I'm not an Indian. I'm not a Russian. I'm not a Hindu. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Christian. I'm not black. I'm not white. I'm not any of this. Spirit soul. Spirit soul, there is no such thing as colors or whatever. This is beyond caste, creed, religion, nationalities. In the Katha Upanishad 1:2:18, we also find a similar passage which reads, Najayate mriyate ba vipaschin, nayang kutaschanna babubakaschit, ajo nitya sasbatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sarire. The meaning and purport of this verse is the same as in the Bhagavad Gita. But here in this verse, there is one special word, vipaschit, which means learned or with knowledge. Actually, we are born full of ignorance in this world. We base our knowledge and we see through the eyes of the scriptures. Shastra Chakshur. Our eyes actually don't see the way it is. It's like if you look at the sun is only the size of a quarter. But does it really the size of a quarter coin? No, it's big, it's huge. The king of all planets. So our so-called senses are imperfect. So we base our knowledge from the scriptures. Our main praman, our main evidence is the scriptures, because the scriptures, they don't commit any mistakes. They're infallible, because the scriptures or the sastras, the Vedas specifically, they are compiled by the Supreme Lord. Only the Supreme Lord can state what is religion. Nobody else. Dharmat tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. The soul is full of knowledge, or full always with consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is the symptom of the soul. What is this consciousness? Consciousness means that is the symptom of the soul. It's like there is never a time that we cannot think of anything. We're always thinking, and we're always focusing our mind or consciousness onto a certain topic or a certain focus, certain point. And therefore, this is the symptom of the soul, consciousness. Even if one does not find the soul within the heart where he is situated, one can still understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of consciousness. That means whatever we're always thinking of, we're always focusing our mind of. It's always 24 hours. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to clouds or for some other reason. But the light of the sun is always there, and we are convinced that it is therefore daytime. As soon as there is a little light in the sky, early in the morning, we can understand that the sun is in the sky. Similarly, since there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether man or animal, we can understand the presence of the soul. It's just like if you pinch anywhere in part of your body, you can feel it. The soul is like all pervading within our body. But even if you cut your legs or your arms, the soul is still there. Similarly, there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether man or animal. We can understand the presence of the soul. This consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because the Supreme consciousness is all knowledge, past, present, and future. So yes, this is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the Jivas. The Jivas, they have a tendency to forget. But the Supreme Lord, he never forgets anything. Is always omnipotent, all-knowing, abhigya. In the first verse of the Shrimad Bhagavatam. He knows everybody in and out. It's like Prabhupada gave an example again. If I have a toothache, I can feel it. You may not feel it, but you can see also that I have a toothache, I'm in pain. But sometimes it's so subtle. We may be in pain. We may be stressed out. We may be so much pressured. But others may not see it. We may not feel it. But the Supreme Lord, as the Paramatma, he sees and feels everybody. This is the difference. The consciousness of the individual soul is prone to forgetful. That is the main difference between the Jivas and the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the superior lessons of Krishna. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. Just like Krishna told Arjuna, you were present there when I told the same knowledge to the sun god Vibhasvan, but you have forgotten. So now I'm repeating it to you, even though Arjuna is an eternally liberated soul, but somehow he was put into the situation that he has forgotten, and for our benefit, especially the conditioned souls in Kali Yuga. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years ago to Arjuna for the benefit of the Kali Yuga people, fallen conditioned souls. But Krishna is not like this, not like the forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. Is there any questions so far or points? We still have like one more paragraph to do. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Before I continue, we only have 15 minutes to go. Time flies. I
Yes,
can
yes,
say
Maharaj.
more.
Yes,
but-
there is.
Go ahead if you have any points or any questions to say or any reflections.
Yes, Sadif, you can raise, unmute yourself and
Okay.
ask a question.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, I can all see you. I only see one devotee there. Where are the others?
Can you see
Somewhere,
me?
right? Hold on, let me see. Standard. Oh yes, now I can see you.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you so much for the class. It's so clear and quite easy for somebody like me to follow. But I still have some questions.
Yes, sir.
And first is, as one dies, one takes birth. And when we take birth, we know we're going to die.
What's
So-
that again?
I said when one takes birth,
When one takes birth,
Yes.
death is certain.
death is certain. And when one dies, birth is also certain.
Right.
So I do not know from which planet I was before I came into this Earth planet.
Right.
But in order for me to come into this Earth planet, I had to be born.
Yeah.
So my question is, we sometimes hear people say, oh, this person passed away, he or she went to heaven.
Mhm.
Does that soul get born in heaven, or the soul goes to heaven as a full-fledged, matured soul?
It says that whatever activities that we perform during this lifetime, there is the reaction we will get. And whatever one thinks at the time of death, that's why it is very important that one thinks of God at the time of death. If one at the time of death is focused on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, Krishna, or you may say Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever religion you belong to, if you're always thinking of God, then for sure you will reach to where he is in his abode in the spiritual world. But most of the times people are thinking of sense enjoyment in terms of women and money. So one will take birth again in this lifetime or next life, sorry, in this planet, or you can take any of the planets, upper, lower, and middle planetary systems. If one is pious, let's say, is very charitable person, he likes to help the poor, feed them, give shelter to them, build hospitals, then more likely you'll take birth in the Swargaloka, in the heavenly planets. But it is still part of the material world. So suffering is there, but it's minimized. You will not be able to feel it that much. There is no such thing as COVID in the heavenly planets. There's no COVID there. No, only in this planet. Maybe it says there's no hospital there. But also people died, and the living beings died over there, and then they come back again into this earthly planet. So what they called heaven is not the spiritual world. That heaven is still part of the material world. It's different when we say Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means place where there is no anxiety. In the heavenly planets, King Indra is also always in anxiety that someone will take his position. You've heard that story about Prithu Maharaj. He wanted to perform 100 horse sacrifices, but he doesn't want, Indra doesn't want that because he's the only one who performed 100 horse sacrifices. He's worried about his position. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj says, Komara acharit pragyo. Now that you are young, now that we are young, we should practice to become Krishna conscious. We should practice to think of Krishna. Especially in this day and age, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it so easy and practical. Everyone can perform this. You don't need any special qualification to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Prabhupada made it become more accessible. As we were talking earlier, Prabhupada crossed the ocean at the age of 70. That time we were supposed to be like retired in Vrindavan. But still, he performed this great austerity to give everyone a chance to become Krishna conscious. So, and Prabhupada says, don't worry about what we were before this lifetime. Because if we are going to know about it, we will go crazy. Who knows where we were before? Probably an insect or a mosquito or an elephant. It doesn't matter now. What matters is at present. This is the most important moment now, at present. We're discussing about the soul. We're discussing about Krishna. We're discussing about the way, how to get out of this material world. We're discussing about going back home, back to Godhead. The main thing is that we just keep discussing this every day. Chant Hare Krishna, discuss about Krishna, his name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes. And therefore, we become fully saturated with Krishna consciousness. And hopefully at the time of death, we will remember Lord Krishna. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj. But my question was that I know that the heavens is still part of the material cosmos. It's still within the material atmosphere, which is different from Vaikuntha.
Yes.
But in the heavens, even though it is material, it is considered a higher planetary system. And so some schools of thought, I do not know what the Vedic stance on that is, but other schools of thought have this notion that as soon as a person dies from this earth, and if that person was pious enough, that person instantly goes to heaven. And so the question now is, if that soul has to be born, just like I was born, I was kept in my mother's womb for 7-9 months before I was born. If that soul has to be kept in an angel's womb for whatever number of months or whatever, it means that that soul's ascension to the heavens will not be instant. It will take some time. That's what I want to find out, because somebody asked me this question once, which I didn't have a very good answer.
It is better when you talk to this kind of personalities, you don't delve into their whatever they believe. You try to explain our philosophy, because you will get diverted. You'll get confused. Do you follow?
I do. Yes, Maharaj.
Better you come to the level that you try to explain the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. because their belief is belief. It's not true. It's not real. They don't believe about the existence. First, they have to understand the existence of the soul. Some of them, their understanding is that only humans have soul. They don't even come to that platform of the insects and the plants and the trees have soul. Correct or not?
Yes, some don't.
Many of them.
Yeah.
Many.
Mhm.
They think only in the human platform have soul. But that is not the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So you put them in the platform of the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, that every living beings, moving or non-moving, have soul. Now, if they cannot come to that platform, there's no difference between animals and human being. They eat, they sleep, they mate, they defend. We eat, we sleep, we mate, we defend. The only difference between animals and human form is that we can understand the supreme absolute truth. We can talk about philosophy, like what we're doing right now. We're talking about knowledge, absolute knowledge. We can talk to the animals, but they cannot do it. So there is no difference between the animals and us. They're also spirit souls, but their consciousness is so down, they'll not be able to understand. Okay, you don't be trapped. They come to you, they should learn from you. Not that you should learn from them, because they don't have anything to offer higher than what we understand. Prabhupada says, if you have a better explanation of God, then we may take it. But they don't. They don't even know what God looks like. But in our understanding, in our teachings, we have a description of who is God. He's a bluish, blackish boy. He's playing his flute. He's always accompanied by his associates with the cows in the spiritual world. Do they have that?
Maharaj, I'm sorry to interrupt. I truly appreciate your answer, and I accept that. I'll try to imbibe that in my preachings, if I should actually preach, that I try to insist on our teachings. But the problem I have now is I do not even know what our teachings say about what happens when a soul leaves from this earth planet to
I'm
go
telling
to heaven.
you, at the time of death, whatever you're thinking of, you will attain, and whatever activities you perform, there is a resultant reaction. Our point is not to take birth again in this material world. Okay, if you act like a very cruel person, you may take birth as a snake. It says in the Bhagavad Gita, there's a picture of Bhagavad Gita there. You want to expose your body all the time, naked, you will become a tree next life. Haven't you read the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji? It says there's a picture. Sometimes they're saying, hey, Prabhu, or they're not Prabhu, but hey, come on, man, you're eating like a pig. So what are you going to be next life? You're going to be like a pig. Okay?
Hare Krishna.
That's why the Bhagavad Gita is there. We explain the teachings according to Bhagavad Gita. We should not try to be trapped what they're saying, because they don't have better explanation than we do. Okay?
Hare
Now
Krishna.
there's no but. There's no but now. There's no but. Accept the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Explain the Bhagavad Gita as it is. If they don't want to take it, goodbye. Thank you very much. I don't want to waste my time to you. I'll go to the next person who will accept and who will be like sincere in trying to understand. If they don't want to understand, if they don't want to take our teachings, fine. We're not going to waste our time to them. This is what you call time wasters. I met so many kinds of people like this in the street when I distribute books. No, if you have a better explanation than me, I will take it, but you don't have. So you please try to accept what I'm saying. And if you don't want to accept, fine also. I look for another person. You follow? Don't get hung up. Don't get hung up with those kind of people.
I do. Thank you, Maharaj.
They just waste your time. But we're not wasting our time here, but because I'm telling you the proper way how you deal with this kind of people. Okay?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, sir. Anything else?
Yep, Maharaj, we have a Narayani raise a hand. Narayani, please kindly unmute yourself and ask a question.
Narayani, would you like, can we see your lotus face? It's blank. We're not voidist here. Where is Narayani? Where is Narayani?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Oh,
Thank you
yes.
for the wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I just want to find out if in the demigods,
Yes.
I want to find out, do they fall down back to material world when they are there? Or when you get to the demigod stage, then your chance going up is just straight going up, going up, going up, no down.
Yes, very good question. Well, it says that you'll have a chance, either or. You'll have a chance. It says that we all been there also. Before coming down to the earthly planet, middle planetary system, we're given a chance to go back home, back to Godhead. But most of us, or many of us, would like to enjoy the material energy. So we come down here in this middle planetary system where it is very conducive to go back home, back to Godhead. Over there is more enjoyment. So much enjoyment that you'll forget the purpose of human form of life. Even King Indra, he became bewildered. It's like there was this one story of King Indra. He became like a pig. So because for other reason, so King Indra has his piggy wife and piggy children, and they were playing in the mud, and he was enjoying so much. So Brahma says, now it's time for you to come back to resume your post. And King Indra says, no way, I'm enjoying here with my piggy wife and my piglets, kids. So that is the problem. But Prabhupada says also that the demigods, they are waiting to take birth in ISKCON, in family devotees. So who knows, maybe some of your children are demigods. Some of your children are demigods, and Prabhupada says that also, that they'll be so powerful. The next few generations of our children, they'll be so powerful, very Krishna conscious, that they will fly in carpets.
Oh,
You know? Yeah. But see, the main thing here is now is that we took birth in human platform. We are here right now, took birth in a specific places in the planet, but we all have the same purpose, to become Krishna conscious. Time is very short now. We have to be very serious in our practice of Krishna consciousness. So whether we are in the heavenly planets or here in the earthly planets, we're all given a chance to go back home, back to Godhead. Or if we misuse this lifetime, then we will return again, and who knows what will our next life be. So let us not lose this opportunity in this human form of life, which is the most or the best form of life to revive our Krishna consciousness. go back home, back to Godhead as soon as you can. As Prabhupada says, his Guru Maharaj says, this place is not a place for gentlemen or gentlewomen. Okay?
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for the answers. I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and my first question is, in the purport, the Prabhupada described the soul as Kutastha. It's steady.
Steady. The soul
Yeah.
is steady.
Yes, steady.
Mhm.
And also it is also explained that the material energy is also static. It does not,
Yeah,
it has
it's
no activity, so
always
constant.
changing.
Yeah, but it's, yes, the word is changing. It is going through transformations.
Yes.
So in the light of these two statements,
Mhm.
is there anything like growth? Because we tend to say somebody is growing hold. I want to understand the concept of growth in respect to this, because material energy does not move. It only goes through transformation. The spirit soul is steady. So when we say growth, what does this relate to? How do we explain growth in the light of understanding of both matter and spirit?
Well, there is what you call the spiritually we also grow. Spiritually we grow. It's like one who is serious in one's practice of Krishna consciousness, sadhana bhakti. There are two parts of sadhana bhakti. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti means following rules and regulations as enunciated by the scriptures and the acharyas, like getting up early in the morning, perform mangalarti, chant our rounds, come for the morning program. You should have also morning program at home, not just like sannyasis or brahmacharis, grihasthas also. So you can see you become stronger and stronger all the time. So the spirit soul's journey going back home, back to Godhead, is progressive if you follow properly. Then it becomes part of the sadhana bhakti is raganuga bhakti. You become static, you become spontaneous. You don't have to pull yourself out of the blanket early in the morning, or you don't have to stay rather. Immediately, even before the alarm gets up, you get up because you're so eager to see the Lord. It's spontaneous. You feel bad if you don't chant your rounds, or you feel bad if you don't come for morning program. These are the symptoms that actually you're growing spiritually. So it says also that the mountains are also growing. So yes, there is growth in both matter and spirit, but the point of the spirit, it doesn't change because it's always spiritual. There will never a time that the spirit soul will become part of matter. It's always spiritual. That's why it is fixed. But spiritually, the progress is there until we go back home, back to Godhead. Okay? It's like your Tulsi plant. It looked like a nice Tulsi plant there. They grow. How did the Tulsi grow? Prabhupada says, they grow because of your bhakti. It's relative. It's not just water. You put water. No, you put your devotion, your love into the watering. That is the watering. And also that bhakti lata beads, right? The seed of bhakti implanted by our spiritual master. How do we make the bhakti lata, the seed of bhakti grows? By hearing and chanting, by doing devotional service. And in this way, that seed of bhakti becomes a plant, and it becomes a tree, and goes, it penetrates the Biraj river, that demarcation between spiritual and material world, and goes up to the highest planet in the spiritual world, the Goloka Vrindavan, and it will touch the lotus feet of Radhe Shyam. It's like you can see in the background, my background here, the spiritual world, that is our destination. There's growth in us also. Okay? It's not static, it is ecstatic. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah, my second question is actually asking Sahadev Prabhu's question in a different way.
Yes.
The process of taking birth in this material world is going into the womb of a mother, whether in any species.
Yes.
And for 6 months, 9 months, whatever, and they're taking birth.
Right.
When the soul leaves the material body, this material plane.
Yes. I'm not able to hear you. Something is wrong. Highball?
Because in the heavenly realm, the process of taking birth there.
Just 1 second. I did not hear part of your statement. Please repeat again. I'm sorry. There was a cut.
Okay, it's okay, Maharaj. In the material world, to take birth, the living entity, the soul, goes into a particular body and goes through the period of 6, 7, 8 months, whatever.
Right.
Now, taking birth in the heavenly planet, Indra Loka, whatever Loka, in the heavenly planet, what is the process of transmigration there? Does the living entity goes through staying in the womb for 6 months, 9 months, or whatever?
It looks like you want to go to the heavenly planets, eh? Now, you see, there is different Puranas that can explain this further details. It's like in the Garuda Purana, it says what happened to us at the time of death. How do we go in a subtle way? Because what we leave behind will be the gross body. Okay. But what goes along with the soul is the subtle body. Mind, intelligence, and ego. It'll be there. That's why for those who were sinful in their life, the subtle body goes along with the soul, and they'll be dragged down by the Yamadutas to the court of Yamaraj, where it says it happens very quick, but it seems to be like so long. How the subtle body can feel those pains, but actually they can feel, like for those who are sinful, they'll be, like drip in boiling oil, or like going into a, like a sugar cane, like juicer, like in India, you have this, juicer, sugar cane, you put sugar cane there, it'll be crushed. So many of this is subtly. So when one takes birth in the heavenly planets, is very, very special also. It says there that you don't die, you just collapse. There is no funeral there or something. There is no cremation there. As I mentioned earlier, there is no hospital there. But you just, when your time is up, you just collapse, then you take another form, goes down again to the earthly planet. Now, to answer specifically your question, how you take birth there, I don't have any answer right now. Because usually we don't discuss these things. This is for others who, you're just curious. First, try to understand you are not this body. You are not black, you're not white, you're not Christian, you're not Hindu. We cannot even go beyond that. And to ask certain questions like that, we will never even understand that, even if we give you the answer. But let's just try to start from the basics. You are not this body. Prabhupada is hammering us almost every class. You're not a Hindu, you're not a Muslim, you're not this, you're not that, you're a spirit soul. And try to not come to that level first. And then we can talk more high philosophy. Do you follow?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Your question is like more of an intellectual question, which is very good. But I don't have I've never read in any Prabhupada's books, oh, when you take birth in the heavenly planets, this is how it is. No, it is not. It only says if you perform pious activities for certain lifetimes, like if you perform 100 lifetimes of pious activities like feeding the poor, building hospitals, giving shelter to the homeless, 100 years, 100 lifetimes, then you will get the post of Lord Brahma. And that is very, very difficult. Why not chant Hare Krishna purely in one lifetime and go beyond the heavenly planets, go back home, back to Godhead? Isn't it? You have a very good question, but
thank you very much, Maharaj.
Irrelevant, actually. It's irrelevant. Why do you want to know? Why you?
Thank you very much.
You want to go to the heavens, to the heavenly planets?
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Sadev Prabhu's hand is up again. So, Maharaj, if it's okay.
Okay, this could be the last question.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, Maharaj.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Just 1 second, Sadev Prabhu. Just 1 second. I'd like to thank Giridhari Puja Devi Dasi for inviting me to speak with you. Even though I've not met you, I probably met some of you, surely do, in person. But nevertheless, I can feel the good nature of the devotees there. You're all sincere and genuine for me. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, Sahadev Prabhu.
Yes, Maharaj. We sorry we asked these questions. We asked these questions because we preach and sometimes we get asked certain questions that we try to find the answers from senior Vaishnavas. But we truly and wholly accept whatever responses you've given us. My last question is, Krishna says in the Gita, I think 3:35, where Krishna talks about like every work has some sort of fault, and it's better one performs his duty, even though it has fault, than to perform other person's prescribed duty.
Yes.
So I think it's two questions. I'm trying to make them into one.
Which verse is this?
3:35. Gita 3:35.
Okay, let me go there also, just to check, so we can know what's really Prabhupada says, okay?
Okay.
Yes, I'm sharing on the screen, Maharaj.
3:35. No, don't put in the screen. Otherwise, we don't see its lotus faces here. I'd rather see your face and have your text in a different way. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another's duties perfectly. Distraction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties, for to follow another's path is dangerous. Okay. So
yeah. So
yes, we're here now.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I'm sharing the screen now, Maharaj.
Okay.
Yeah, 3:35.
About what is this? Funny hair? Okay.
Yeah, Shreyan Swadarmo Viguna.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. So the question is, we see like in the professional lives of attorneys, like lawyers.
Lawyers.
A lawyer may have a client, and the lawyer can understand that his client is completely wrong, But he goes to the court to defend him.
Yeah.
So, especially if we have a devotee lawyer who is defending a client, whom the devotee lawyer knows for sure that this person is wrong,
It's a
is
criminal.
at fault, and still goes to the court to defend him. Does that lawyer incur any sinful reactions by performing his duty? And then secondly, if a devotee sells things like groceries, sells rice, flour, can such a devotee sell those grains on Ekadashi days, or on every Ekadashi day, the devotee has to stop selling those groceries?
Okay. You're going very deep now.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Prabhupada says lawyers means liars. That is their work. I mean, they're doing their duty to defend their clients. So, I mean, a genuine lawyer, I mean, he only tried to prove from the previous cases that was done before. Those cases that was like won before, he will only present this. So, yes, this is very, very critical. That's why lawyers, if we have devotee lawyers, then they have to pick their clients who are, like honest. If you're going to defend a criminal, you know that this person killed another person and you want to prove that he did not kill. I mean, it is very risky. That's why if you're going to work, better work in such a way that you will not incur so much karma. Just like, you can work in a vegetable store or something, less karma. If you're a devotee and if you're going to work in a gambling casino, because it's a big pay in the gambling casino, what is the use? You get so much money, but the money comes from in a wrong way. So you get karma for this also. Don't think that you're a devotee and you try to protect a criminal, you will be free from karma. No, you will get karma. This is how karma works. So now let's say you give another example. You have a store and you're selling grains and ekadasi, but they don't follow anything anyway. It's like here in Delhi, we have Govindas. We have two sections. One is like an ekadasis, non-grains prasad, full ekadasi prasad. And then there's the other one where you can eat rice, dal, chapati, all grains, and they don't follow anyway. So only when they come to the point that, oh, I have to follow ekadasi, then the option for ekadasi is there for you.
Okay.
Do you follow?
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. Yes.
Why you enforce something for those who doesn't follow anything that you should follow what I'm doing?
Okay.
We're not dogmatic here.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like children, they don't have to follow ekadasi. Only at a certain age, after 5 years old, you should train them. They should do ekadasi. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like this. He was eating, of course, he was eating clay pots. And he says, oh, there's no difference. Sweet meats came from earth. But then Mother Sachi, wife of Brahmana, Jagannath Misra, she knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking about this philosophy of monism, that everything is one. No, but there's a distinction. So my suggestion is, if you are going to work in such a way that karma is less. And if you want also to purify the fruits of your activities, give a certain amount of donation in propagating Krishna consciousness. Then your work becomes purified. It is called karma yoga. If you don't, and you just want to enjoy the fruits of your activities, it doesn't matter what it is, you will get karma. That will prolong your stay in the material world. Okay.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Thank you, Sad. Are you a lawyer?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'm just asking.
No, I've met your guru in Toronto a couple of times. He preaches like a lion. I really admire him a lot.
Hare Krishna.
So we're happy to have you.
Thank you. Anything else? I hope I can reach your place in Ghana or Tanzania or Uganda or the farthest I reached there is South Africa. I've been to Durban and Phoenix.
South Africa.
Yeah. South Africa.
Yeah, most of us are in West Africa.
Okay. Maybe some other time I can swing over there when I go. I've been to South Africa a few times, in Durban especially.
Okay.
Any other points? Ganga Prasad Prabhu, you want to say something? You can unmute.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I just have to thank you for your honoring the invitation and for the wonderful class. Thank you very much.
I'm very happy to take part in your Sangha.
Thank you, Maharaj. We met last in Mauritius.
Oh, yes.
Mauritius during Ratha Yatra.
Yes, I've been there like a dozen times already, I think. Every year I go there like 2 or 3 times in Mauritius. I said one time to them, I lost my heart in Mauritius. And I'm sure if I reach your area also, it'll be the same. I can feel it from here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Maharaj.
So we will conclude here. Salika Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh, okay. Giridhari Puja. Yes.
Please accept my humble obeisances.
Thank you.
Salika Prabhu is having little connection issues now, and it seems to be no more hands up for questions. Thank you so much for accepting to give class on our platform. I'm extremely very grateful, and we are all honored to have your presence again.
Thank you. Questions means signs of intelligence. So you're very intelligent class of devotees over there. So many questions. Thank you for engaging me.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Kripa Sindhu
Pasitana Pavani.
Vaishnava Brinda ki jai.
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 Haribol. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare
Hare
Rama.
Rama, Hare.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for coming on the class.
Thank you. Thank you. Dandabats.
Yes. Giridhari Puja. Giridhari Puja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, I think from your hand you can hand the class. You are the host now.
Okay,
I
I'll
lost
do
the host.
so.
My network was fluctuating at a point in time, so it cut off me from the host. So you are currently the host. So you just go to the leave button and you click end.
End. Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
It's great. Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
O Salika.
My pronounce.
Hare Krishna.
From right, from left, front and back.
I reciprocate. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good work. So many Tulsis behind you.
And you.
So,
So let us dip the head and body, everything inside. Maybe one day we'll get.
that is the Priyasi, Tulasi Krishna. Priyasi. Namo Namo.
Exactly. Hare Krishna. Okay, Gridal Puja Matiji, please, you can end it now.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Haribo.